Hello, dear traveler. Welcome to this peaceful place where stories and sleep come together. I'm so glad you're here. Tonight, we're going to journey with Merlin to the crystal caves of Serenity. But before we begin, let's take a moment just for you. A moment to let go of the day behind you. Find a comfortable position. Let your body sink into the softness beneath you. There's nothing you need to do right now. Nothing to fix. Nothing to worry about. This time is yours and yours alone. Take a slow, gentle breath in and let it out, releasing any tension you've been carrying. Your shoulders can drop. Your jaw can soften. Even your thoughts can slow down. Everything can wait until tomorrow. Sleep is a gift you're giving yourself tonight. And this story is here to guide you gently into that peaceful rest. You don't need to follow every word. You don't need to remember what happens. In fact, the best thing you can do is simply let the story wash over you like a warm, gentle wave. If your mind wanders, that's perfectly okay. If you drift away before the story ends, that's even better. This tale will be here, quietly unfolding as you slip into deeper and deeper rest. So settle in a little more. Let your breathing become slow and easy, and know that you're safe here, protected, held by this moment of calm. There's no right or wrong way to listen, no test at the end, just comfort, just peace, just sleep. Now, let us begin our journey to the crystal caves, where Merlin awaits in the quiet heart of the earth. The path to the crystal caves winds through an ancient forest, where trees older than memory stand watch in the twilight. Merlin walks this path with slow, measured steps, his staff tapping gently against the earth. The sound is rhythmic, steady, like a heartbeat. Above, the sky deepens into shades of purple and indigo. The first stars begin to appear, one by one, like candles being lit in a vast cathedral. The air is cool and sweet, carrying the scent of moss and wildflowers. Merlin is in no hurry. He never is. He knows that the caves will wait for him, as they have waited for centuries. As they will wait, birds have returned to their nests. Small creatures burrow into soft earth. As Merlin walks, his blue robes brush against ferns and low-growing plants. His feet know this path well. They have walked it countless times, in sunlight and moonlight, in spring and winter. The earth beneath him is familiar, welcoming. He passes a small stream that babbles over smooth stones. The water catches the fading light, sparkling like scattered diamonds. Merlin pauses for a moment, listening to the music of the water. It's a lullaby older than any song humans have ever sung. The trees begin to thin ahead. Between their trunks, Merlin can see the gentle slope of the hillside. And there, barely visible in the gathering dusk, he sees the entrance to the caves. A dark opening framed by soft moss and trailing vines. No grand doorway, no carved stones, just a quiet threshold between the world above and the world below. Merlin approaches slowly, his footsteps barely making a sound on the forest floor. He places one hand on the cool stone at the cave's entrance. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. The earth welcomes him. It always does. A small breeze drifts from inside the cave, carrying with it the faint scent of minerals and ancient stone. It's cool against his face, refreshing, like the first breath of morning. He looks into the darkness of the cave entrance with no fear. Only peace, only trust. This is a place he has known for lifetimes. A place that holds no danger, only rest. And then, with the peaceful confidence of someone coming home, Merlin steps inside. The darkness wraps around him like a soft blanket. His staff glows faintly, just enough to light his next few steps. But he doesn't need much light. His feet remember the way. The cave floor is smooth beneath him, worn by centuries of water and footsteps. The air inside is noticeably cooler, but not uncomfortably so. It's the coolness of deep earth, constant and unchanging. As Merlin walks deeper, the entrance behind him fades from view. The sounds of the forest grow distant, the babbling stream, the rustling leaves, the evening songs of birds. All of it softens until there is only silence. And in that silence, something magical begins to happen. A faint glow appears ahead, soft, gentle, like moonlight filtered through water. It comes from the crystals that line the cave walls. They sense Merlin's presence, and they respond. One by one, they begin to shine. Merlin smiles. He is almost there. Almost to the heart of the crystal caves. Almost home. The glow from the crystals grows softer and warmer as Merlin moves deeper into the cave. Slower, softer, like honey dripping from a spoon. The crystals that line the walls are beginning to wake. That's how Merlin thinks of it. Waking. Though they never truly sleep, they rest in darkness until someone comes. And when they sense a presence, they respond with light. Gentle light. The kind that doesn't startle or demand attention. The kind that simply is. Merlin's staff taps quietly against the stone floor. Tap, tap. The sound echoes softly, but not harshly. The cave seems to absorb the sound and soften it, turning each tap into something almost musical, like distant bells. Like rain on leaves. The air here is perfectly still, not stale, but resting. It carries a coolness that feels clean and pure, as if it has been filtered through layers and layers of ancient stone. Merlin breathes it in slowly, deeply, and with each breath, he feels himself settling, letting go, becoming quieter inside. The passage he walks through begins to widen. The ceiling rises higher above his head, and the crystals grow larger. Some of them jet from the walls at gentle angles, their surfaces smooth and luminous. Others cluster together in groups, like flowers in a garden, like stars in a constellation. Their light is pale blue, soft lavender, the faintest touch of silver, colors that belong to twilight and dreams, colors that don't wake you up, but invite you to rest more deeply. Merlin trails his fingers along the wall as he walks, feeling the cool surface of the stone, the smooth facets of the crystals. They're slightly warm to the touch, as if they hold some inner fire. But it's not a hot fire. It's the warmth of sunlight captured in morning dew, the warmth of moonlight on still water. Ahead, the passage opens into something larger. Merlin can sense it before he sees it. The air changes. The echoes grow more spacious, and the light becomes brighter, though still soft, still gentle. He takes a few more steps, and then he enters the crystal chamber. It's a vast space, carved by water and time over thousands upon thousands of years. The ceiling arches high overhead, disappearing into shadow. But the walls, oh, the walls. They are covered entirely in crystals, thousands of them, tens of thousands. They grow in every direction, pointing up, pointing down, jutting sideways, spiraling in slow curves. Some are as thin as needles, others are as thick as ancient tree trunks, and all of them glow. The light they give is like being inside a cloud at sunset, soft, diffused, beautiful. It doesn't come from any single source. It comes from everywhere at once, filling the chamber with a luminescence that feels alive but peaceful, aware but restful. Merlin stands at the entrance to the chamber for a long moment, simply taking it in. He has been here hundreds of times, but it never fails to fill him with quiet wonder. Not the loud, excitable wonder of discovery, the gentle wonder of coming home to something you love. He walks forward slowly, his footsteps soundless now. The floor of the chamber is smooth and slightly damp, covered in a thin layer of water, so shallow it's barely there, just enough to reflect the crystal light above, turning the floor into a mirror, turning the chamber into a place where earth and sky seem to meet. In the center of the chamber, there is a natural formation of stone. It rises from the floor like a seat, worn smooth by age, by water, by the countless times Merlin has sat there just as he's about to sit now. He moves toward it with the slow, easy movements of someone who has all the time in the world. It simply unfolds, moment by moment, like petals opening on a flower. When he reaches the stone seat, Merlin turns and lowers himself onto it. The stone is cool but not cold, smooth but not slippery. It seems to fit him perfectly, as if it has been shaped just for this purpose, just for this moment of rest. He sets his staff across his lap. His hands rest gently on it, fingers loose and relaxed. His shoulders drop, his breathing deepens, and all around him, the crystals respond. Their light brightens just a little, not enough to be harsh, just enough to acknowledge him, to welcome him, as if the cave itself is saying, "Yes, you are." Merlin closes his eyes for a moment and simply listens. There is almost no sound, just the faintest drip of water somewhere far away. One drop, then another, each one falling in its own time, in no hurry to be anywhere else. Each one adding to the shallow pool that covers the floor. Each one becoming part of something larger. The silence here is not empty. It's full, full of peace, full of presence, full of the deep, abiding stillness that exists at the heart of all things. Merlin opens his eyes again and looks up at the crystals above him. They shimmer faintly, their surfaces catching and reflecting the light from their neighbors. creating patterns, spirals, constellations of soft color that shift and change so slowly you can barely see it happening. He watches them without thinking, without analyzing, just watching, just being. This is why he comes here, not to do magic, not to seek answers or visions, but simply to be still, to rest in a place where rest is all there is. The crystal's home. It's so quiet you might not even call it a sound, more like a feeling, a vibration so gentle it's almost imagined. But Merlin feels it in his bones, in his breath, in the steady, slow beating of his heart. He lets his eyes drift half closed. The light becomes softer still. The colors blur and blend. Everything softens. Everything rests. Merlin sits in perfect stillness on the smooth stone seat, his body completely relaxed. His breath moves in and out so gently that it barely disturbs the quiet air around him. In, out, like waves on a distant shore, like the rise and fall of sleeping breath. The crystals continue their soft glow, filling the chamber with light that seems to have no source and no end. It simply exists the way starlight exists, the way moonlight exists, present and peaceful and asking nothing of anyone. Merlin's eyes are half closed now, his gaze soft and unfocused. He's not looking at anything in particular. He's simply allowing his vision to rest on the gentle play of light and shadow, the way the crystals catch the glow from one another, the way the light pools on the water-covered floor like liquid silver. Time passes, though Merlin doesn't count it. Minutes, perhaps, or hours. It doesn't matter. In this place, time is not something to be measured or worried about. It's just another gentle current, flowing slowly around him, carrying him nowhere, letting him be exactly where he is. His hands rest loosely on his staff. His fingers are completely relaxed, curled naturally, holding nothing, grasping nothing. There's no tension in them at all. No effort. Just the easy weight of his hands, supported by the wood beneath them. The coolness of the cave air moves softly around him. Not a breeze, exactly. More like the gentle circulation of breath in a sleeping room. It touches his face, his neck, the backs of his hands, cool but not cold, refreshing but not startling. Just enough to remind him that he's alive, he's here, he's held by this peaceful place. Far above, a single drop of water forms on the tip of a crystal. It grows slowly, gathering weight, catching the light so that it glows like a tiny jewel. And then, in its own time, it releases. It falls through the air, tumbling slowly, almost floating. And when it touches the shallow pool below, it makes the softest sound, a whisper, a sigh, and then ripples spread outward in perfect circles, moving across the water like gentle fingers, touching everything, disturbing nothing. Merlin watches the ripples with half-closed eyes. They move outward and outward, getting lighter and softer, until they reach the edges of the chamber and fade into stillness. And the water is smooth again, waiting for the next drop, patient, endless. His breathing has become even slower now. Each breath takes its time. There's no rush. His lungs fill slowly, like a cup being filled with clear water. And then they empty slowly, releasing everything, holding on to nothing. Fill and empty. Fill and empty. As natural as the turning of seasons. As easy as sleep. The humming of the crystals continues, so faint it's barely there. But Merlin feels it more than hears it. It vibrates in his chest, in his bones, in the stone beneath him. Everything is connected here. Everything shares the same slow pulse, the same quiet rhythm. He lets his eyes close completely now. The light doesn't disappear. Even with his eyes closed, he can sense it, feel it. The soft glow of the crystals presses gently against his eyelids, warm and soothing, like sunlight through closed curtains, like firelight from across a room. In the darkness behind his eyes, colors drift, soft blues, gentle purples, the faintest hints of silver and gold. They don't form shapes or pictures. They simply move, like clouds drifting across a twilight sky. Slow, aimless, beautiful. Merlin's mind, which is usually so active, so full of knowledge and questions and plans, begins to quiet. Thoughts come, but they don't stay. They drift through like birds passing overhead, here for a moment, then gone. And Merlin doesn't try to hold them, doesn't try to follow them. He simply lets them pass. Another drop of water falls somewhere in the chamber, then another, each one in its own time, each one making its own small music. Merlin listens without listening, aware of the sound, but not focused on it, letting it be part of the peaceful background of this place. His shoulders have dropped even more now. His jaw is soft. His forehead is smooth. Every muscle in his body has remembered how to rest, how to simply exist without working, without holding, without trying. The stone beneath him seems to warm slightly, as if responding to his presence. Or perhaps it's always been this temperature, and he's only now noticing it. Either way, it feels comfortable, supportive, like the earth itself is holding him up, letting him rest, asking nothing in return. Merlin's breathing continues its slow, steady rhythm. In through his nose, cool and clean. Out through his slightly parted lips, warm and soft. Each breath takes him deeper into stillness, deeper into peace, deeper into the quiet heart of the earth, where nothing hurries and nothing demands and nothing disturbs. The glow of the crystals seems to pulse very gently, in rhythm with his breath. Or perhaps his breath is moving in rhythm with them. It's impossible to tell. And it doesn't matter. Everything here is connected. Everything moves together. One slow, peaceful dance that never ends. Time dissolves completely. There is no before, no after. Only now. Only this moment. Only this breath. Only this stillness. Merlin sits and breathes and rests. His face is completely peaceful. There are no lines of worry on his forehead, no tension around his eyes, no tightness in his jaw. He looks younger somehow, or perhaps ageless, as if the years have fallen away, leaving only the essential part of him. the part that is simply aware, simply present, simply at peace. The chamber holds him gently. The crystals glow softly. The water reflects the light in endless patterns. And somewhere far above, in the world of sunlight and wind and busy days, evening continues to deepen into night. But here, in the crystal caves of Serenity, there is no day and no night. Only the eternal twilight of the earth's heart. Only the endless moment of perfect rest. Merlin breathes. The crystals glow. The water waits. And everything is exactly as it should be. Another drop falls. Another circle of ripples spreads across the water. Another moment passes, soft and slow and infinitely gentle, and Merlin rests. He simply rests. In the stillness of the crystal chamber, Merlin has become part of the silence itself. His breathing is so soft now, so gentle, that it barely moves the air around him. In, out, in, out, each breath arriving in its own time, unhurried, unforced, as natural as leaves settling on still water. The light from the crystals continues to fill the chamber with its soft glow, but now it seems even gentler than before, as if the crystals themselves are settling into deeper rest. The blue tones deepen slightly. The lavender hues become richer. The silver light softens into something that feels more like memory than sight, more like comfort than illumination. Merlin's body has found complete stillness. His spine is supported by the stone behind him, curved in a gentle, natural way that requires no effort to maintain. His head has tilted forward just slightly, his chin almost touching his chest. His shoulders are completely loose, sloping downward in total relaxation. His hands still rest on the staff across his lap, but even they seem lighter now, as if gravity has become gentler here, as if the weight of his body, the weight of his years, the weight of all the knowledge and responsibility he carries, has all been set down, put aside, released into the keeping of the earth. The cool air of the cave moves around him in the softest circulation. It brushes against his face like the touch of silk, like the whisper of feathers. So gentle, it's almost not there at all, but Merlin feels it, welcomes it. Each cool breath of air against his skin is another invitation to let go, to soften, to sink deeper into this perfect, protected peace. Above him, the crystals hang from the ceiling like frozen rain, like stars caught in the moment before they fall, each one perfectly still, each one glowing with that same soft internal light, and the light they cast creates no shadows. Everything here is illuminated equally, gently, with no darkness to fear and no brightness to disturb. Water continues to drip somewhere in the vast chamber. One drop, then silence, then another drop. The intervals between them are long, peaceful. Each drop is an event unto itself, unhurried, complete. It forms, it grows heavy, it releases, it falls. It releases, it falls, unhurried, complete. It forms, it grows heavy, it releases, it falls. It touches the water below, and ripples spread outward in perfect circles, moving slowly, growing fainter, until they fade into stillness once more. Merlin listens to these drops without counting them, without anticipating the next one. He simply receives each one as it comes, the way you might receive raindrops on your face, the way you might receive the sound of distant bells, present to it while it's here, letting it go when it passes. His mind has grown quieter still. Earlier, thoughts drifted through like passing birds. Now, there are fewer thoughts, and the ones that come move even more slowly, like clouds on a windless day, like boats on a glassy sea. They appear. They exist for a moment, and then they dissolve, leaving no trace, no residue, no disturbance at all. The humming of the crystals has deepened into something felt more than heard. It's a vibration that seems to come from the stone itself, from the earth itself. A deep, slow pulse that moves through everything, through the floor, through the walls, through Merlin's body where it rests against the stone. It's like a heartbeat, but slower, much slower. The heartbeat of mountains, the heartbeat of time itself. And Merlin's own heart begins to match it, slowing, deepening, finding that ancient rhythm that exists beneath all things. The rhythm that was here before he was born and will be here long after he's gone. The eternal, unchanging pulse of the earth. His face is completely serene now. His expression holds no thought, no emotion. Not because he's empty, but because he's full. Full of peace so complete that there's no room for anything else. No room for worry, or planning, or wondering. Only room for this moment, this breath, this perfect, infinite now. The water on the floor has grown perfectly still between the falling drops. It reflects the ceiling above so perfectly that it's hard to tell where the floor ends and the reflection begins. The chamber seems to extend both upward and downward into infinity, a space without boundaries, without limits, where up and down have lost their meaning, and everything simply is. Merlin exists in this space without questioning it, without analyzing it. He's not meditating in the way that requires focus or technique. He's simply being, simply resting so deeply that the difference between waking and sleeping has blurred into something else entirely. Something that is both and neither. A state of awareness so gentle, it's almost like dreaming. A state of rest so complete, it's almost like floating. Another drop of water falls. The sound is like a bell in a distant temple. Clear but soft, present but not demanding. And the ripples it creates move outward and outward, touching everything, disturbing nothing. Time continues to be meaningless here. Merlin might have been sitting for minutes, for hours, for days. It all feels the same. All feels like one continuous moment of perfect peace. A moment that stretches and expands without ever ending, without ever needing to end. The temperature of the cave remains constant, not warm, not cold, just the perfect coolness of deep earth, the kind of temperature that makes you feel held, protected, as if you're wrapped in something that knows exactly what you need, that gives you exactly that, nothing more, nothing less. Merlin's breath continues its slow journey, in and out, in and out. Each inhalation brings cool, clean air deep into his lungs. Each exhalation releases everything he doesn't need, everything that no longer serves him. Tension, thought, effort, all of it flowing out with each gentle breath. All of it dissolving into the peaceful air of the cave. The crystals seem to breathe with him. Their glow brightens ever so slightly when he inhales, softens when he exhales. Or perhaps it's his perception that changes with each breath. Perhaps the light is constant, and it's only his awareness that ebbs and flows. Either way, there's a rhythm here, a dance between himself and this ancient place, a conversation without words, a connection that needs no explanation. His body has become so relaxed that he's barely aware of it anymore. There's no discomfort anywhere, no ache, no tension, no part of him calling for attention or adjustment. Everything has found its place. Everything is settled, like stones settling into a riverbed, like snow settling on a quiet field. The stone beneath him feels softer now, though it hasn't changed. Or perhaps he has simply melted into it more completely, become more accepting of it, more trusting. The boundary between where he ends and the stone begins has grown less distinct, less important. Everything is merging into peace, into stillness, into the deep, bottomless rest that waits at the center of all things. Another drop falls. Another circle of ripples spreads across the mirror-smooth water. Another moment passes like a sigh, like a prayer, like the gentlest touch of blessing, and Merlin rests deeper still, letting go of even the idea of letting go. Simply being, simply breathing, simply existing in this perfect, timeless moment where nothing is needed and everything is enough. The crystals glow, the water waits, the earth holds him, and peace, complete and total, fills every corner of the chamber, fills every space in his heart, until there is nothing else, nothing but rest, nothing but stillness, nothing but the infinite, gentle now. A crystal chamber has grown even softer now, if such a thing is possible. The light from the crystals has dimmed to the barest glow, just enough to suggest shape and space, just enough to create a sense of presence without demanding attention. It's the light you might see through closed eyelids when you're almost asleep. Gentle, distant, more felt than seen. Merlin remains on the stone seat, his body so still he might be carved from the same ancient rock. But he's not stone. He's simply resting more deeply than most people ever rest in their entire lives. His breath moves in and out so slowly now that each complete cycle seems to take forever. In, a long pause, out, another long pause, and then in again, like waves on the most distant shore, like the turning of seasons, like the movement of stars across the night sky. The air around him has become perfectly still. No movement at all now. Just the constant, gentle coolness that asks nothing and gives everything. It surrounds him like water surrounds a sleeping fish, like darkness surrounds a seed underground, completely, protectively, with infinite patience. His face is smooth and peaceful. All the lines that might show age or wisdom or experience have softened away. His forehead is clear. His closed eyes rest beneath their lids without any flutter or movement. His lips are slightly parted, allowing breath to pass through without resistance, without sound. Just the quietest exchange of air, so subtle you'd have to be very close to notice it at all. The drops of water have slowed their falling. Minutes pass between them now, or perhaps longer. Time has stretched so completely that it's impossible to measure. Impossible to care about measuring. Each drop, when it finally comes, is a small miracle. A tiny event in the vast silence. It forms slowly on the tip of a crystal, growing heavier, catching what little light remains, glowing for a moment like a small star, and then it releases, falls through the still air, touches the water below with the softest sound imaginable, and creates ripples that spread outward, so slowly you could watch each one forming, expanding, fading, and never grow tired of the sight. Merlin's awareness has become very small and very large at the same time. Small because he's aware of so little. Just breath. Just being. Just the sense of existing without needing to do or think or become anything. Large because that awareness seems to fill everything. The entire chamber, the entire cave system, the entire mountain above. As if his consciousness has expanded to touch everything and nothing simultaneously. He's not thinking about this. He's not aware that he's aware. He's simply resting in a state beyond description, beyond naming. A state where the one who rests and the resting itself have become the same thing. Where there's no separation between Merlin and the peace he's experiencing. They're one continuous thing, like water and wetness, like fire and warmth, inseparable, indistinguishable. The crystals around him have dimmed further still. Their glow is now like the last light in the sky after sunset has faded. That deep blue moment before true darkness. That time when you can still see, but barely. When shapes become soft suggestions. When the world becomes gentle and forgiving and kind. But even in this dimness, there's no fear. No sense of darkness closing in, because this isn't the darkness of night outside. This is the darkness of the womb, of the seed, of the place where all things rest before they grow. It's a darkness that protects, that nurtures, that asks you to trust, and then proves itself worthy of that trust over and over again. Merlin's hands on his staff have become so light they barely touch it anymore. His fingers curve naturally, loosely, holding nothing. If the staff were taken away, his hands would remain in exactly the same position, not grasping, not reaching, simply resting in the shape of peace. His shoulders have dropped so far down that there's no tension anywhere in his upper body. His chest rises and falls with each breath, but the movement is almost imperceptible, like the breathing of someone deep in the most restful sleep they've ever known. A kind of sleep where you wake feeling renewed, restored, made whole again. The stone beneath him seems warmer now, or perhaps he's simply stopped noticing any difference between his temperature and the stone's. They've equalized, become one. His body gives its warmth to the stone. The stone gives its support to his body. A perfect exchange. A perfect balance. Far above, beyond the ceiling of crystals, beyond the layers of rock, beyond the mountain itself, the world continues. The sun sets or rises. Stars wheel across the sky. Wind moves through trees. Rivers flow to the sea. Life continues in all its noise and motion and endless activity. But here, in the deepest heart of the earth, in the crystal caves of Serenity, all of that is distant, unimportant, as distant as childhood memories, as unimportant as dreams you can't quite remember. Here, there is only this, only stillness, only the infinite moment that never begins and never ends. Only the peace that was here before the world was made and will remain when the world has passed away. Another drop of water forms, slowly, so slowly. It grows at the tip of a crystal, gathering molecule by molecule. There's no hurry, no urgency. It will fall when it's ready, when gravity finally calls it home. And when it does fall, it will complete its journey in its own time, touching the water below with the gentlest kiss imaginable. Merlin's breath continues. In, out, in, out. But even this seems to be slowing, getting quieter, as if even breathing is becoming less necessary, as if he's finding a way to rest that goes deeper than breath, deeper than heartbeat, deeper than thought or sensation or any experience that can be named or described. He's sinking into the very foundation of existence itself, the place where being simply is, where nothing is added and nothing is taken away, where everything is complete exactly as it is. The humming of the crystals has faded to the barest suggestion, a vibration so deep and so slow that it's more like the memory of sound than sound itself, like an echo of an echo of an echo, present but invisible, known but untouchable. Merlin's mind is completely quiet now, no thoughts at all, not even the soft, drifting thoughts that passed through before. Just pure awareness, pure presence. The consciousness that exists before thoughts arise. The knowing that doesn't need knowledge. The seeing that doesn't need eyes. His body is so relaxed, it's almost disappeared from his awareness. There's no sensation of sitting. No feeling of weight or pressure or contact. Just a sense of floating, of being held by something infinite and gentle and utterly trustworthy, of resting in arms that will never let go, never tire, never ask anything in return. The chamber around him seems to breathe, to pulse, to exist in rhythm with some vast, cosmic heartbeat. The walls, the floor, the crystals, the water, all of it moving together in the slowest dance imaginable. A dance that takes years to complete a single movement. A dance that never ends because it never truly begins. Time has completely dissolved now. There is no past. Merlin doesn't remember walking through the forest, doesn't remember entering the cave, doesn't remember sitting down. All of that might have happened a moment ago, or 1,000 years ago. It doesn't matter. It's all the same, all part of the eternal, now that fills everything. There is no future either. No thought of leaving. No plan for what comes next. No wondering about tomorrow, or the next hour, or the next breath. The future doesn't exist here. It's just an idea, a concept. And concepts have no power in this place of pure being. There is only this, only now. Only the infinite present moment stretching out in all directions forever. A moment so full it contains everything. A moment so empty it needs nothing. Another drop falls, maybe. Or perhaps it's the same drop, falling over and over in an endless loop. Or perhaps there's only one drop that has ever fallen and ever will fall. Distinctions like this no longer matter. Everything is one thing. Everything is the same thing. Everything is peace. Merlin breathes. Or perhaps breath breathes itself through him. Or perhaps breathing and Merlin are no longer separate. Perhaps they never were. Perhaps he's always been breath in stillness and light and stone and water and crystal and peace. Perhaps he's always been everything and nothing at once. The crystals glow their dimmest glow. The water waits in perfect patience. The earth holds everything in its embrace. And somewhere in the center of it all, Merlin rests. Rests deeper than sleep. Rests deeper than dreams. Rests in the place where all things rest when the journey is complete and there's nowhere left to go. And here, in this perfect peace, in this complete stillness, in this infinite moment of rest, everything is exactly as it should be. Everything is whole. Everything is home. The story continues, but you don't need to follow it anymore. You can rest now, just like Merlin. You can let go. You can sink into your own deep peace, your own crystal cave, your own perfect stillness. Rest now. Sleep now. Let everything go. You are safe. You are held. You are home. The soft glow of twilight settles around you as our story begins. In an age when magic still whispered through the ancient forests and stars held secrets yet unspoken, there lived a wizard named Merlin. Perhaps you've heard his name carried on the evening breeze, or seen his silhouette in your dreams. A figure draped in robes the color of midnight sky, with eyes that held the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes. Tonight, let yourself walk beside him. It was on a night much like this one, quiet, peaceful, with the moon hanging low and full, that Merlin stood at the edge of the whispering woods. Feel the cool grass beneath your feet, just as he did. The air was thick with the scent of pine and wild jasmine, and somewhere in the distance, an owl called out its gentle song. Merlin paused, closing his eyes. Breathe with him now, slowly, deeply. He could sense it a calling, a pull toward something ancient and profound. Deep within the heart of the forest lay the crystal caves of Serenity, a place spoken of only in the oldest tales. A labyrinth of luminous wonder that few had ever found, and fewer still had understood. The time has come, Merlin whispered to the night air, his voice soft as silk. Imagine yourself standing there with him, feeling that same gentle pull in your heart. With his wooden staff in hand, worn smooth by countless journeys, Merlin began to walk. Each step was deliberate, mindful. The forest seemed to welcome him, branches parting like curtains, leaves rustling their approval. You walk beside him now, your own footsteps light and easy on the mossy path. The deeper they went, you and Merlin together, the more the world seemed to transform. The ordinary trees gave way to ancient oaks, whose trunks were wider than castle towers. Their roots twisted and curved like sleeping dragons, and from their branches hung strands of silver moss that glowed faintly in the moonlight. "Do you feel it?" Merlin spoke, though whether to you or to himself, you couldn't quite tell. The magic grows stronger here. The veil between worlds grows thin. And you do feel it, don't you? A tingling in the air, a sense of wonder awakening in your chest. As you continue walking with Merlin, the sound of water reaches your ears. A gentle trickling, musical and sweet. The wizard smiled, the corners of his eyes crinkling with knowing joy. "We're close now," he murmured. The path curved around a massive stone covered in emerald moss, and there, rest your eyes upon it now, was the entrance to the caves. But this was no ordinary cave mouth. It was framed by crystals that rose from the earth like frozen flames, each one pulsing with a soft inner light. Blues and purples, silvers and golds, all swirling together in a dance of luminescence. Merlin stopped, and you stopped beside him, both of you standing in silent awe. "The luminous labyrinth," he breathed. "After all these years of searching, here it stands before us. Place your hand on your heart now, and feel it beating steadily, calmly." Merlin did the same, centering himself before this threshold of wonder. The crystals seemed to hum, not with sound, but with feeling. A vibration that resonated deep in the bones, in the soul. It was welcoming. It was ancient. It was home. "Shall we enter together?" Merlin asked, turning to glance your way, his eyes twinkling with starlight. The labyrinth calls to those who seek peace, who search for answers written not in books, but in the silence of the heart. You nod, ready for this journey. Merlin stepped forward, and the crystal's glow intensified, bathing both of you in gentle radiance. As he crossed the threshold, you cross it too, leaving the familiar world behind and stepping into a realm of pure enchantment. Inside, the cave opened into a vast chamber. The ceiling soared high above, studded with thousands of tiny crystals that mimicked the night sky, each one a star, each one a dream. The walls were smooth and curved, reflecting light in endless patterns that shifted and danced like auroras. Let your eyes roam slowly across this beauty, taking it all in without hurry. A path lay before you both, winding deeper into the labyrinth. It was paved with smooth stones that glowed faintly underfoot, lighting the way forward. To either side, smaller tunnels branched off. Some narrow, some wide, each one calling with its own unique melody of light. Merlin leaned on his staff, his expression serene. "In this place," he said softly, "there is no wrong path. Each tunnel, each turn, leads exactly where you need to go. The labyrinth knows the journey your soul seeks." Feel the comfort in those words, settling over you like a warm blanket. You and Merlin began to walk the luminous path together. Your footsteps made no sound on the glowing stones. The air was perfectly still, yet somehow felt alive. Like breathing, like heartbeat, like the gentle pulse of existence itself. Along the walls, you noticed something extraordinary. Scenes seemed to play out within the crystals. Memories, perhaps, or visions. A young Merlin learning his first spell, his mentor's kind hand on his shoulder. A great tree blooming in fast motion, seasons passing in seconds. A child laughing, playing in a meadow of wildflowers. "The crystals hold stories," Merlin explained, his voice a gentle murmur. "Not just mine, but yours too. Everyone who enters this labyrinth adds their light to its memory. What story might your own heart be adding to these walls right now?" As you walked deeper, there was no sense of time here. No rush, no urgency. A path curved gently to the left. Merlin paused at a junction where three paths diverged, each glowing with a different hue. One shimmered blue like deep ocean waters, another golden like sunset, and the third soft silver like moonbeams. "Which calls to you?" Merlin asked, looking at you with patient curiosity. "In your mind, choose the path that feels right. There is no wrong answer here. Together, you take the path your heart has chosen, and with each step, you feel yourself sinking deeper into peace. A gentle glow surrounds you both, protective and nurturing. Merlin walks with the ease of someone who has finally come home after a long journey. "Do you know what I've learned?" he said quietly. "In all my years of magic and wandering, that the greatest spells are not cast with wands or words. They are cast with presence, with breath, with simply being. Breathe with Merlin now. In, out, slowly, peacefully." The labyrinth seemed to breathe with you both, its light pulsing gently in rhythm with your heartbeat. Ahead, the tunnel opened into another chamber, this one smaller, more intimate. In its center stood a pool of perfectly still water, its surface reflecting the crystal light above like a mirror to infinity. Around it, soft moss grew in cushions of emerald green. Merlin approached the pool and carefully lowered himself to sit beside it. You sit beside him now, feeling the soft moss beneath you, comfortable and supported. "Here," he whispered, gazing into the water, "here is where we rest, where we listen." where we remember who we truly are. Look into the water with him. See the reflection of crystal light. See the depth. See the stillness. And in that moment, sitting beside Merlin in the heart of the luminous labyrinth, surrounded by gentle light and ancient peace, you feel something shift within you. A letting go, a softening, a return to center. The wizard smiled, closed his eyes, and simply breathed. And you breathe with him in and out, surrounded by light. Perfectly safe, perfectly calm, perfectly at peace. Time moves slowly here. Merlin has been sitting beside the pool, eyes closed, breathing gently. His face is peaceful, calm, as if he's listening to something only he can hear. Slowly, his eyes open. The crystal light reflects in them soft, shimmering, ancient. He gazes into the pool. The water is perfectly still. It reflects everything the glowing crystals above, the gentle light, Merlin's weathered face. And perhaps, if you look closely, something more, something deeper. The silence speaks, Merlin whispers to himself. A small smile touches his lips. He reaches out one hand. His fingertip touches the water. Ripples spread slowly, gently. Circles within circles, like breathing made visible. In and out, spreading and fading. The wizard watches the ripples, patient, still. There's no hurry here, no rush, just this moment, this breath, this gentle movement of water and light. After a time, Merlin rises, slowly. His joints are old, but his movements are graceful. He picks up his staff worn smooth by countless journeys, and turns toward the passage ahead. The path glows violet now. Soft purple light beckons deeper into the labyrinth. Merlin walks, step by step by step. His staff taps gently against the glowing stones. Tap, tap, tap. A rhythm like a heartbeat. The walls have changed. Crystal flowers bloom here, petals of amethyst and sapphire, frozen in eternal spring. They seem to glow from within, casting gentle shadows that dance and sway, though there is no wind. Merlin pauses beside one flower. He doesn't touch it, just observes, appreciating. His expression is soft, wonder-filled, like a child seeing snow for the first time. Beautiful, he breathes. Always beautiful. He continues walking. The passage slopes gently upward, then curves. The crystal flowers give way to smooth walls, lined with countless tiny crystals. Each one pulses with its own gentle rhythm. The tunnel opens into a long gallery. Merlin stops at its entrance, staff in hand, and simply stands. The walls on both sides shimmer with crystals of every color. Rose pink, ocean blue, forest green, sunset gold, each one glowing, each one pulsing, each one humming with silent song. Merlin closes his eyes. His breathing slows, deepens. He's listening, feeling, absorbing the peace of this place. A single tear traces down his weathered cheek. Not sadness. Something else. Gratitude, perhaps, or wonder, or the simple joy of beauty witnessed. Even after all these centuries, he whispers, the world still moves me. He stands there a long while, just breathing, just being. The crystals pulse around him, rose quartz warm like embrace, blue topaz, cool like water, citron soft like sunshine. Feel the gentle rhythm in and out, light flowing like breath. Eventually, Merlin opens his eyes. He wipes the tear away gently and smiles. Then he walks on, his footsteps silent on the glowing path. The gallery curves and narrows. The path begins to spiral downward now, gently, like a shell, like falling softly into sleep. The walls here are studded with tiny points of light like stars, like fireflies, like dreams, captured and held forever in crystal. Merlin hums as he descends, a melody without words, ancient, soothing, the kind of song a grandmother might sing to a sleeping child. His voice is weathered but warm, cracked but kind. Let the melody wash over you, soft as water, gentle as moonlight. Down he goes, and down and down. The spiral curves smoothly, endlessly. The tiny lights twinkle. Merlin's humming echoes softly off the crystal walls. There's no sense of time passing, just the steady descent, just the gentle song, just the warm glow of the labyrinth holding everything in peace. At last, the spiral opens. Merlin steps into the most beautiful chamber yet. He stops. His breath catches. Even though he's walked this labyrinth before in dreams, the sight still fills him with awe. The chamber is vast, a cathedral of crystal and light. And in the center, rising from the floor like something grown rather than built, stands an enormous crystal lotus, taller than the oldest oak, perfect in form, each petal glowing with soft, ancient light. It pulses gently like a heartbeat, like breathing, like the rhythm of the earth itself. Merlin stands at the threshold, leaning on his staff. His eyes are wide. His expression is pure wonder. The heart of the labyrinth, he breathes. The floor is covered in fine white sand. It glows faintly, warmly. Merlin removes his shoes, slowly, reverently, and steps onto the sand. His feet sink slightly. The sand is warm, soft, like walking on clouds. He approaches the crystal lotus. Step by slow step, the great flower pulses its welcome. The light seems to breathe in and out, in and out. Near the base of the lotus, Merlin lowers himself to the sand. His old bones settle. His body relaxes. He sets his staff beside him and simply sits. The crystal lotus towers above him, glowing, pulsing. The light washes over the old wizard in waves, gentle, rhythmic, peaceful. Merlin closes his eyes. His breathing matches the lotus rhythm. In, the light glows brighter. Out, the light softens. In and out. In and out. His face grows even more peaceful. The lines of worry smooth. The weight of centuries seems to lift. Here, in this moment, Merlin is simply resting. This peace, he whispers to the lotus, to the labyrinth, to the universe, lives in all things, always, forever. The sand cradles him. The lotus glows for him. The chamber hums with ancient, loving presence. Merlin reaches into his robe. From an inner pocket, he pulls out a tiny crystal, no bigger than a teardrop. It glows with the same gentle light as the great lotus above. He holds it up to the light. It sparkles, pulses, warm in his weathered palm. For remembering, he whispers, for knowing we can always return to this peace, this light, this home. He tucks the small crystal back into his robe, close to his heart. Then he settles more deeply into the sand. His hands rest gently in his lap. His breathing slows, deepens, becomes one with the rhythm of the lotus, in and out, glowing, and softening, rising, and falling. The chamber holds him. The lotus watches over him. The sand supports him. Everything is still. Everything is peaceful. Everything is exactly as it should be. Merlin's lips move in the barest whisper. Safe, held, home. And then even the whisper fades. There is only silence. Only the gentle pulse of light. Only the ancient rhythm of breathing. The old wizard sits in perfect stillness, his face serene, his body relaxed, surrounded by crystal light, held by the warm sand, watched over by the eternal lotus. Outside the caves, somewhere far above, the moon continues its journey across the sky. Stars wheel in their ancient dance. The world turns. But here, in the heart of the labyrinth, time has stopped. There is only now, only this breath, only this light. Merlin breathes, in and out. The lotus glows bright and soft. The sand holds warm and gentle. Everything is still. Everything is peaceful. Everything is well. The wizard rests in the crystal light, deep, safe, perfectly at peace. And perhaps, if you're very quiet, very still, you can feel it too. That same peace, that same light, that same gentle rhythm, in and out, safe and held, resting. In light, Merlin sleeps now in the heart of the labyrinth. The crystal lotus glows softly through the night. The warm sand cradles. The ancient peace holds everything. All is well. All is rest. All is peace, sleep. The night deepens in the world above. Stars grow brighter. The moon climbs higher, casting silver light across the whispering woods. But here, in the heart of the labyrinth, nothing changes. Time does not move. The crystal lotus pulses with the same gentle rhythm. The warm sand holds. The light glows soft and eternal. Merlin sits perfectly still. His breathing is slow, deep, peaceful. His face holds the expression of someone who has finally come home after a very long journey. The great lotus above him seems to lean closer, protective, loving. Its petals shimmer with colors that have no names, shades of peace, hues of comfort, tints of ancient wisdom. In and out, the light breathes in and out. Merlin breathes in and out. Everything breathes together. A subtle shift occurs in the chamber. The light grows slightly warmer, softer, like the first gentle rays of dawn, though no sun reaches this deep place. Merlin's eyes remain closed, but a small smile appears on his lips. He's dreaming, perhaps, or remembering, or simply resting in the embrace of perfect peace. Around the base of the crystal lotus, tiny flowers begin to appear. They grow from the sand itself, delicate blossoms of living crystal, each one no larger than a snowflake. Rose, lavender, pale blue, soft gold. They don't make a sound as they bloom, silent, gentle, like dreams taking form. The flowers spread slowly across the sand, a garden of crystal and light growing in a circle around the old wizard. They glow with the same warm luminescence as everything else in this sacred place. Merlin breathes. The lotus pulses. The crystal flowers bloom. All is rhythm. All is harmony. All is peace. Feel the gentle rhythm like waves on a distant shore, like wind through summer grass. Time passes or doesn't pass. Here, it makes no difference. The crystal garden grows fuller. More blooms appear, clusters of tiny stars, spirals of petals, geometric patterns of light and color. They form a mandala around Merlin, intricate and beautiful. The wizard's breathing grows even slower, deeper. Each breath takes longer. Each exhale releases more. He's sinking into the deepest rest, the most profound peace, a place beyond dreams. The lotus above responds. Its light softens further, becoming almost like mist, like gentle fog made of starlight. It drifts down from the great flower, settling over Merlin like the softest blanket. The warm sand beneath him seems to embrace him more fully, supporting every part of him, cradling him completely, safe, held, loved. In this deep rest, Merlin's mind wanders through memories, not with effort or thinking, but like leaves floating on a stream. Gentle, easy, drifting. He remembers learning his first spell as a young boy, the wonder in his mentor's eyes, the feeling of magic flowing through him for the first time warm, surprising, right? He remembers walking through ancient forests, talking with trees, listening to rivers, learning the language of stones and stars. He remembers laughter, so much laughter, friends long gone but never forgotten, moments of joy that shimmer still, preserved in the heart like flowers pressed in a beloved book. He remembers sorrow too, loss, mistakes, the weight of difficult choices. But even these memories are gentle now, softened by time and understanding. They're part of the tapestry, part of the journey, part of what led him here, to this moment, to this peace. Everything is led to this rest, this light, this home. The crystal flowers around him pulse in rhythm with his breathing. The mandala of light shifts and flows like water, like clouds, like thoughts drifting into sleep. Somewhere in the depths of his rest, Merlin whispers. The words are barely sound, barely breath. Thank you. For what? For everything. For the journey. For the labyrinth. For this moment. For the peace that holds all things. The lotus seems to bow slightly, acknowledging. Its light grows impossibly soft, impossibly warm, impossibly gentle. The crystal flowers bloom brighter for just one moment. A pulse of pure love, pure acceptance, pure peace. And then they soften again, glowing steadily, breathing with the wizard, with the lotus, with everything. In and out, slower now, deeper now, in and out. Merlin's hands, resting in his lap, are completely relaxed. His fingers are soft. His shoulders have no tension. His jaw is loose. His brow is smooth. Every part of him has let go. Every muscle has released. Every thought has drifted away like smoke on a gentle breeze. He is, in this moment, pure peace, pure rest, pure being. The labyrinth holds him as a mother holds a sleeping child, completely, tenderly, with infinite patience and infinite love. The warm sand cradles his body. The crystal lotus watches over his spirit. The glowing flowers guard his dreams. The ancient stones of the labyrinth surround him in protection that has lasted for eons and will last for eons more. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Nothing to become, just rest, just peace. Far above, in the tunnels and passages of the labyrinth, the violet light still glows. The crystal flowers still bloom on the walls. The pool still reflects perfect stillness. Everything waits, patient, timeless, knowing that Merlin will wake when he's ready, and knowing that the labyrinth will be here, always here whenever he needs to return. But for now, there is only sleep. Deep, healing, perfect sleep. A kind of sleep where the soul remembers itself, where the heart remembers home, where everything that has ever been weary finally rests in and out, softer, slower, in and out. The crystal lotus glows like a guardian, like a nightlight, like the first star appearing in the evening sky. The warm sand holds like earth, like gravity, like the steady, reliable embrace of the world itself. The flowers bloom like promises, like hope, like beauty that exists simply because it can, because it must, because it is. And Merlin sleeps, deeply, peacefully, completely. His breathing is so slow now, so gentle, almost imperceptible, like the breathing of mountains, like the breathing of ancient stones, like the breathing of time itself. The light around him is golden now, warm as honey, soft as silk. It wraps him in layers of comfort, of safety, of absolute, unconditional peace. In his deepest rest, Merlin dreams of light, just light, pure, gentle, eternal light. No images, no stories, just the luminous presence of peace itself. And in that light, he is home, completely home, forever home. The labyrinth breathes for him. The lotus glows for him. The flowers bloom for him. The sand holds him, and he rests so deeply, so peacefully, so completely. Outside, the moon reaches its highest point in the sky. It hangs there, round and full and silver, looking down on the whispering woods. The trees sway gently. Leaves whisper their ancient songs. Night birds call softly to one another. The entrance to the crystal caves of Serenity glows faintly in the darkness. The crystals that frame the doorway pulse gently, like a heartbeat, like breathing, like the rhythm of all living things. And deep within, deep in the heart of the labyrinth, Merlin sleeps. The old wizard rests in perfect peace, held by light, cradled by earth, surrounded by beauty, protected by ancient magic. He is safe. He is home. He is at peace. And perhaps, if you listen very carefully, you can hear his breathing, slow and gentle, and deep in and out, carrying you with him into the deepest rest, into the softest peace, into sleep. The crystal lotus glows through the endless night. The warm sand holds without weariness. The flowers bloom without fading. And Merlin sleeps deep in the labyrinth, deep in the light, deep in peace, safe, held, home. Rest now, rest deeply, rest peacefully, all is well. All is light, all is peace. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Merlin's Starlight Journey, the Garden of Eternal Dreams. Close your eyes, dear traveler, and let the story begin. The evening air is cool and gentle. Somewhere in the distance, a church bell rings softly. Once, twice, 3 times. The sound fades into silence, and all is peaceful. Merlin stands at the edge of a cliff. Before him stretches an endless expanse of rolling hills, covered in silvery grass that sways in the breeze. The sun has just set, leaving the sky painted in shades of deep purple and soft blue. He leans on his staff. The wood is warm beneath his weathered hands. He has walked far today through valleys and over streams, past villages where children waved and dogs barked cheerful greetings. But now he has arrived. Below the cliff, nestled in a valley so deep it seems to hold the secrets of the world, lies a garden. Even from this height, Merlin can see it glowing. Soft light emanates from within, not harsh or bright, but gentle, like candlelight seen through frosted glass. The Garden of Eternal Dreams, Merlin whispers to the wind. He has heard stories of this place, tales passed down through generations of wanderers and mystics. They say the garden grows at the edge of waking and sleeping. They say its flowers bloom only for those who truly seek rest. Merlin has been searching for it for many, many years. And now, here it is. The old wizard takes a deep breath. The air smells of lavender and jasmine, of rain on stone and bread baking in distant ovens. It smells like memory, like home. He begins his descent. The path down the cliff is narrow but well worn. Smooth stones mark the way, each one glowing faintly in the gathering darkness. Merlin's footsteps are slow, steady, deliberate, step by step by step. His staff taps against the stone. Tap, tap, tap. A gentle rhythm, a heartbeat, a lullaby. In and out, breathe with the rhythm. As he descends, the world around him grows quieter. The sounds of the distant villages fade. The rustle of wind through grass softens. Even his own breathing seems to hush, as if the air itself is preparing for sleep. The sky darkens, not with storm clouds, but with the natural arrival of night. Stars begin to appear, first 1, then 3, then dozens, then hundreds. They spread across the heavens like seeds scattered by a gentle hand. Merlin pauses on the path to look up. The stars are so bright here, so clear, they seem close enough to touch. One star in particular catches his eye. It shines directly above the garden below, brighter than all the others. Its light is silver blue, pulsing gently. "The dreaming star," Merlin murmurs. "The guardian of sleep." He watches it for a long moment. The star pulses, in and out, in and out, like breathing. Feel its rhythm, slow, steady, peaceful. The wizard continues down the path. The cliff walls on either side are smooth, worn by centuries of wind and rain. In the stone, he can see faint patterns, swirls, and spirals, like fingerprints left by time itself. Moss grows in patches, soft, green, glowing faintly with its own inner light. Merlin's fingers brush against it as he walks. It feels like velvet, like the softest blanket. Down and down, and down he goes. The air grows warmer as he descends. Not hot, but perfectly comfortable. Like stepping into a room where a fire has burned low, leaving only gentle warmth behind. The path curves, switchback after switchback. Left, then right, then left again. A slow spiral leading deeper into the valley. Merlin hums as he walks. The same ancient melody from before, wordless, timeless. A song his own mentor taught him when he was just a boy learning his first spells. Let the melody drift through you, soft, familiar, safe. The stars wheel slowly overhead. The dreaming star pulses its gentle light. The moss glows on the cliff walls. Everything is rhythm. Everything is peace. At last, the path levels. Merlin steps off the stone and onto soft earth. Grass cushions his feet. The ground is slightly warm, as if the earth itself is alive and breathing. Before him stands the entrance to the garden. Two great trees frame the gateway, ancient willows with trunks as wide as castle towers. Their branches hang down like curtains of silver green, swaying gently though there is no wind. Between the trees, a wooden gate stands open. The wood is old, weathered by time, but strong. It's carved with images of stars and moons, of sleeping animals and closing flowers. Merlin approaches slowly, reverently. He places one hand on the gate. The wood is warm, smooth. It seems to hum beneath his palm, a vibration so subtle it might be imagined, but Merlin knows better. "Thank you," he whispers to the gate, to the trees, to the garden itself. "Thank you for welcoming me." The trees seem to bow slightly. Their branches rustle, though the air is perfectly still. Feel the welcome, the acceptance, the peace. Merlin steps through the gate. The garden opens before him like a blessing, like a sigh of relief, like coming home after the longest journey. Paths of pale stone wind through beds of flowers. But these are not ordinary flowers. They glow from within soft blues and gentle purples, pale pinks and warm golds. Each bloom pulses with light, breathing in time with the dreaming star above. Trees grow here and there, not dense like a forest, but spaced perfectly, like guardians standing watch. Their leaves shimmer silver in the starlight. Their trunks are wrapped in vines that glow faintly green. In the center of the garden, Merlin can see a structure, a pavilion perhaps, or a temple. It's difficult to tell from here. The light around it is soft, inviting, like lamplight seen from a warm window on a cold night. But there's no hurry to reach it, no rush. Merlin begins to walk the nearest path. His staff taps softly on the pale stones. Tap, tap. To his left, a bed of flowers catches his eye. They're shaped like bells, delicate, drooping, glowing soft blue. As he watches, they sway gently, and a sound reaches his ears, chiming like tiny bells, like wind chimes made of glass. The sound is so soft, so soothing, it seems to come from inside his own mind rather than from the air. Listen, the gentle chiming, like rain on leaves, like distant music. To his right, another flower bed. These blooms are round and full, like roses, glowing warm pink. They release a scent into the air, lavender and vanilla, chamomile and honey. The fragrance wraps around Merlin like an embrace. He breathes deeply, in and out. The scent fills him with calm. Further along the path, a small fountain bubbles quietly. Water flows from a stone basin shaped like a lotus flower. The water glows faintly silver, catching the starlight and reflecting it in ripples. Merlin stops beside the fountain. He watches the water flow, steady, constant, never rushing, never stopping. The sound is hypnotic, gentle splashing, soft trickling, like a lullaby sung by the earth itself, in and out, flowing, resting, flowing, resting. A butterfly drifts past. Its wings are translucent, glowing with pale gold light. It lands on the edge of the fountain for a moment, folding its wings slowly, carefully, and then flies on, disappearing into the garden's gentle glow. Merlin smiles. His eyes are soft, peaceful. He continues walking. The path curves around a cluster of trees. Their silver leaves whisper secrets to one another, ancient knowledge, forgotten stories, the names of stars that no longer shine. Beneath the trees, cushions of moss grow thick and soft. They glow faintly green, like tiny hills in a miniature landscape. A rabbit sits on one, perfectly still, its eyes half closed. It doesn't move as Merlin passes, just sits, just breathes, just rests. All creatures rest here, all are welcome, all are safe. The path opens into a small clearing. In its center grows a single tree unlike any other. Its trunk is pale white, smooth as marble. Its branches spread wide, and from them hang not leaves, but crystals. Thousands of tiny crystals, shaped like teardrops, glowing with all the colors of the rainbow. When the breeze touches them, and there is a breeze now, so gentle it's barely there, the crystals chime. 1,000 soft notes, all in harmony, creating a chord that seems to resonate with the very stars above. Merlin stands beneath the tree. He looks up through the crystals at the sky beyond. The dreaming star pulses. The crystals chime. Everything is music. Everything is light. He closes his eyes, just for a moment, just to feel. Standing beneath beauty, surrounded by peace, held by the garden. When he opens his eyes again, the sky has grown darker still. More stars have appeared. The garden glows brighter in response, as if to say, when darkness comes, we shine. Always we shine. The wizard continues on. The path leads him past more flowers, some shaped like stars, some like moons, some like tiny suns. Each one glows, each one breathes. Each one adds its light to the garden's gentle luminescence. He passes a bench carved from a single piece of white stone. It sits beside the path, waiting, patient. Merlin considers sitting, but something calls him forward, not urgently, just gently. A whisper, a suggestion. Come a little further, just a little more. The path curves once more, and there finally, the central structure of the garden reveals itself fully. It's not a temple, not a pavilion. It's simpler than that, and somehow more perfect. A circle of 7 trees, 7 ancient oaks, their trunks massive and strong, their branches intertwining overhead to form a natural dome. And beneath that dome, on the soft grass that glows like emerald starlight, a bed of flowers grows in a perfect spiral. At the very center of the spiral rests a single stone, smooth, round, flat enough to sit upon. It glows with warm golden light, pulsing gently in and out, in and out. Merlin stops at the edge of the circle. His breath catches. His heart swells with something too big for words. The heart of the garden, he whispers. The 7 oaks seem to acknowledge him. Their branches rustle. Their leaves shimmer. The flowers in the spiral glow brighter for just a moment. A pulse of welcome, of recognition, of love. This is where the journey leads. This is where rest begins. This is home. Merlin steps into the circle. The grass beneath his feet is softer here, warmer. Each step feels like walking on clouds. He approaches the spiral slowly. The flowers glow in shades of blue and purple, pink and gold, white and silver. They form a path inward, toward the center, toward the stone. The old wizard follows the spiral, round and round and round, drawing closer to the center with each turn. His breathing slows. His footsteps soften. His staff barely makes a sound now. Round and round, spiraling inward, coming home. At last, he reaches the center. The golden stone pulses before him, welcoming, waiting. It has been here for eternities, and it will be here for eternities more. Merlin lowers himself to sit upon the stone. It's perfectly warm, perfectly smooth, perfectly sized to hold him. He sets his staff beside him on the grass. The wood settles into place with a soft sound, like a sigh of contentment. The wizard sits, just sits. His hands rest in his lap. His back is straight but not tense. His eyes are open, gazing up through the canopy of intertwining branches at the stars beyond. The 7 oaks surround him, protecting, holding, ancient guardians of rest and dreams. The flowers glow at his feet, breathing with him, in and out, in and out. The dreaming star shines directly overhead. Its silver blue light filters down through the branches, bathing Merlin in gentle radiance. Safe, held, home. The wizard closes his eyes. A smile touches his lips, so subtle, so peaceful. Thank you, he whispers to the garden, to the trees, to the stars, to the universe itself. Thank you for this peace. The garden hums in response, not with sound, but with feeling, with presence, with love, and Merlin sits, breathing, resting, beginning his journey into the deepest peace, in and out, glowing and softening, here in the heart of the garden, where dreams are born and rest is eternal. The stars shine softly overhead. Merlin rests on the golden stone, and our journey deepens. Time passes in the garden of eternal dreams, though it's impossible to say how much. Minutes might be hours. Hours might be moments. Here, time moves like honey, slow, golden, sweet. Merlin sits at the center of the spiral. His breathing has grown even slower, deeper. Each breath takes its time, savoring the fragrant air, releasing gently into the night. The 7 oaks stand watch around him. Their branches sway ever so slightly, creating patterns of shadow and starlight that dance across the grass. The movement is hypnotic, soothing, like watching clouds drift across a summer sky. In and out, shadows and light, dancing, resting. The flowers in the spiral continue their gentle glow. But something is changing. Slowly, subtly, the colors are shifting from blues and purples to softer shades. Lavender, pearl, pale rose. The hues of twilight deepening into night. Merlin notices, though his eyes remain closed. He can feel the change in the light against his eyelids. He can sense the garden moving deeper into its evening rhythm. A small smile remains on his lips, peaceful, content. Above the dreaming star pulses, and now other stars seem to pulse in response. First one, then another, then more. They create a pattern in the sky, a constellation of rest, a map of peace written in light. Watch the stars pulse, gentle beacons, breathing light. A soft breeze moves through the garden. It carries the scent of night-blooming jasmine, of dew on grass, of earth settling into sleep. The breeze touches Merlin's face gently, brushing against his weathered cheeks, stirring the silver strands of his beard. He breathes it in, deep, slow. The breeze moves on, rustling through the leaves of the 7 oaks. They whisper in response ancient words in a language older than language itself. The sound is like a lullaby sung by grandmothers of stone and root. Merlin's shoulders drop a little lower. His hands, resting in his lap, grow softer. His jaw releases. His brow smooths. Let go a little more, and more, and more. At the edge of the circle, something stirs. Movement. Gentle. Slow. A deer steps into view. Its coat is silvery white, almost luminous in the starlight. Its eyes are dark and deep, filled with ancient knowing. It moves without sound, hooves barely touching the grass. The deer approaches the spiral. It doesn't hesitate, doesn't fear. It simply walks the path inward, following the glowing flowers round and round and round. Merlin senses its presence. He opens his eyes slowly, just a little, and sees the creature approaching. His smile deepens. No surprise, no alarm, just recognition, just welcome. The deer reaches the center. It stands before Merlin for a moment, looking at him with those deep, knowing eyes. Then, gracefully, it lowers itself to the grass. It settles beside the golden stone, tucking its legs beneath its body, and rests its head on the ground. Another soul seeking peace. Another dreamer finding home. Merlin reaches out one hand, slowly, gently. He touches the deer's head. The fur is soft, warm, real, and dreamlike all at once. "Welcome, friend," he whispers. The deer's eyes close. Its breathing slows to match Merlin's. In and out, in and out. The wizard's hand remains on the deer's head for a while, giving comfort, receiving it. Two beings resting together in the heart of peace. Eventually, his hand returns to his lap. But the connection remains, the shared rhythm of breathing, the shared stillness, breathing together, resting together, held by the same peace. More movement at the edges of the clearing, soft, barely visible. A fox appears. Its coat is red gold, glowing like autumn leaves. It pads silently into the circle, following the spiral inward. It curls up near the deer, tail wrapped around its nose, and closes its eyes. Then a rabbit, small, gray. It hops slowly along the flower path, finds a spot near the fox, and settles into the grass. Then an owl. It lands without a sound on one of the lower branches of the 7 oaks. It tucks its head beneath its wing and becomes still. One by one, creatures come, drawn by something they cannot name, drawn by the peace that radiates from this place, drawn by the presence of the old wizard who sits at the center, holding space for all who seek rest. A badger, a hedgehog, a family of mice, a crane that stands on one leg, perfectly balanced, eyes half closed. All are welcome. All are safe. All are held. Merlin watches them come. His heart fills with tenderness, with love. These creatures, like him, are travelers. Like him, they have journeyed far. Like him, they have finally found a place to rest. We are all the same, he whispers to them, to himself, to the garden. All seeking, all finding, all resting in the light. The animals breathe, Merlin breathes, the flowers glow, the stars pulse. Everything is one rhythm now, one breath, one heartbeat, in and out, all together, all as one, all at peace. The golden stone beneath Merlin begins to glow a little brighter. Not harsh, not sudden, just a gentle increase, like a lamp being turned up slowly. The warmth spreads through Merlin's body, starting at the base of his spine where he sits, moving upward, through his back, his shoulders, his neck, spreading outward to his arms, his legs, his fingertips, his toes. It's not heat. It's something deeper. Life force, perhaps, or love made tangible, or simply the earth sharing its infinite patience and strength. Feel the warmth, spreading, softening, releasing. Merlin's body relaxes even further. He didn't know he was still holding tension, but now he feels it release. Old aches he'd stopped noticing, tightness he'd learned to live with, weariness accumulated over centuries of walking. All of it, letting go. The stone accepts it, absorbs it, transforms it, returns it as warmth, as comfort, as peace. Around the circle, the 7 oaks begin to glow, not with external light, but from within. Their trunks shine softly warm amber, like lamplight through honey. The glow spreads up their trunks, into their branches, out to the very tips of their leaves. The entire canopy above Merlin becomes a dome of gentle golden light, a sanctuary, a temple, a womb of peace, surrounded, protected, held in light. The flowers in the spiral respond. Their glow intensifies, but remains soft. They pulse in waves, now starting at the outer edge of the spiral and flowing inward, like ripples on water, like breath flowing through the body. Wave after wave of gentle light flows toward the center, toward Merlin, toward the golden stone, toward the animals resting nearby. Each wave brings deeper peace. Each pulse carries away more tension. Each rhythm draws everyone present into deeper rest. Waves of peace, flowing, releasing, flowing, releasing. Merlin's breathing becomes almost imperceptible. So slow, so shallow, yet perfectly sufficient. The breath of someone in the deepest meditation. The breath of someone touching the edge of sleep. His face is completely serene now. No lines of worry. No traces of concern. Just peace. Pure, simple, absolute peace. The deer beside him sleeps. The fox dreams. The rabbit's whiskers twitch gently. The owl's feathers ruffle in a breeze that isn't there. All the creatures rest, each in their own way, held by the same peace that holds Merlin. All resting, all dreaming, all held. The dreaming star above pulses brighter, and in response, the entire garden seems to breathe. The flowers inhale light, exhale fragrance. The trees inhale starlight, exhale warmth. The grass inhales peace, exhales welcome. The stone inhales weariness, exhales renewal. And Merlin inhales the eternal and exhales gratitude, in and out, in and out. The garden breathes. You breathe. All breathes as one. A memory drifts through Merlin's mind, not forced, not sought, just appearing like a leaf floating on water. He remembers being a child, before magic, before destiny, just a boy lying in a meadow, watching clouds drift by. His mother was nearby, hanging laundry. He could hear her humming. The sun was warm on his face. The grass was soft beneath his back. He was happy then, simply happy, without reason or thought. Just happy. That same feeling fills him now, here, in this garden, centuries later, and yet somehow return to that same simple joy. The peace we seek, we've always known, just returning, just remembering. The memory fades, gently, leaving only the feeling behind, the warmth, the safety, the sense of being exactly where he belongs. Another memory surfaces. His mentor placing a hand on young Merlin's shoulder. Magic, the old teacher said, is not about power. It's about presence. It's about being so completely here, so completely now, that the universe can work through you. Merlin understands now, fully, completely. This moment sitting on this stone, surrounded by sleeping animals, held by ancient trees, watched by eternal stars. This is magic. Not the casting of spells, not the wielding of power, but this complete presence, this absolute now, nothing to do, nowhere to be, nothing to become, just this, just now, just peace. The golden light from the stone and the trees grows slightly softer, not dimming, but mellowing, like the light in a room where someone is falling asleep, gradually easing into shadow. The flower's pulse is slow, still flowing toward the center, but more languidly now, lazy, unhurried, like waves lapping at a shore in the gentlest tide. Even the breeze slows. The leaves barely whisper now. The air is almost perfectly still. Everything is settling. Everything is deepening. Everything is sinking into the most profound rest. Merlin's head begins to bow, slowly, his chin dropping gradually toward his chest. His spine curves gently forward, his body naturally folding into the posture of deep rest. The golden stone supports him. The warmth holds him. The light embraces him. Sinking, settling, surrendering. The deer beside him shifts slightly, moving closer. Its warmth mingles with Merlin's. The fox curls tighter. The rabbit's breathing slows. The owl sleeps deeply on its branch. All the creatures, all the plants, all the stars, all the stones. Everything in the garden rests together, breathing together, being together, held by the same infinite peace, safe, so deeply safe. Merlin's lips move, the barest whisper, words almost too soft to be words. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. For what? For everything. For the journey. For the rest. For this moment. For all moments. For the infinite gift of being. The garden hums its response. A vibration too deep for ears. A knowing too profound for thought. A love too vast for words. You are welcome. You are loved. You belong. And there, in the heart of the garden of eternal dreams, surrounded by sleeping creatures and glowing flowers, held by ancient oaks and eternal stars, Merlin rests. Deeply, completely, perfectly, in and out, held by light, held by peace, held by love. The stars have reached their highest point in the sky. The moon, thin as a silver crescent, hangs suspended like a gentle smile, watching over the world. In the garden of eternal dreams, all is stillness. Merlin sits at the center of the spiral, his body completely relaxed. His head rests gently forward, chin nearly touching his chest. His hands lie soft in his lap. His breathing is so slow, so quiet, it seems he might not be breathing at all. But he is. Life moves through him, gentle, steady, eternal. In and out, the creatures sleep around him. The deer's sides rise and fall slowly. The fox twitches and dreams of summer fields. The rabbit is perfectly still, a small bundle of gray fur glowing softly in the garden's light. The 7 oaks continue their watch. Their golden glow has softened to the color of candlelight now. Warm, barely there, just enough to hold back the darkness, just enough to remind everyone that light remains, even in the deepest night. Soft light, gentle guardians, keeping watch while you rest. A change begins in the air, subtle, so subtle it might go unnoticed. The temperature drops slightly, not uncomfortable, just cooler. The kind of coolness that makes sleep deeper, that makes blankets feel softer, that invites the body to curl inward and rest more fully. With the coolness comes moisture. Tiny droplets form on the petals of flowers, on the leaves of trees, on the blades of grass. Dew, arriving silently in the deep hours of night. Each droplet catches the starlight. Each one becomes a tiny mirror, reflecting the heavens. The garden becomes covered in thousands upon thousands of tiny stars brought to earth. Everything shimmers, gently sparkling. Soft as dreams, Merlin feels the coolness on his skin. Some distant part of his awareness notices it, but he doesn't stir, doesn't move. The golden stone beneath him radiates just enough warmth to keep him comfortable. The 7 oaks shelter him from any wind. He is held, protected, safe. A small spider descends on a thread of silk from one of the oak branches. It spins slowly as it drops, round and round, catching the dim golden light. When it reaches a height just above Merlin's head, it stops. There, suspended in the air, the spider begins to weave. Its legs work with impossible precision, creating a web between 2 branches. Round and round, spiral within spiral, pattern upon pattern. The web takes shape slowly, patiently, each thread placed with care, each connection made with purpose. Weaving, creating, pattern emerging from patience. When the web is complete, the spider settles at its center and grows still. The dew begins to form on the silk threads, and suddenly the web becomes visible. The mandala of water drops, each one glowing, each one perfect. It hangs above Merlin like a crown, like a halo, like a blessing made of starlight and dew. The wizard doesn't see it. His eyes remain closed, but perhaps some part of him feels it. Perhaps some deep knowing recognizes the beauty being woven above him. Even in rest, even in sleep, beauty continues to unfold. At the edge of the garden, near the gate where Merlin first entered, something moves. A figure, walking slowly, very slowly. Another traveler has found the garden. She is an old woman, bent with age, leaning heavily on a walking stick. Her hair is white as moonlight. Her shawl is wrapped tight against the cool night air. She pauses at the gate. Her hand touches the carved wood, just as Merlin's did hours before. Her eyes, clouded with cataracts, but still seeing take in the glowing flowers, the luminous paths, the soft radiance that fills this place. Tears slide down her weathered cheeks. "At last," she whispers. At last. She steps through the gate. Her movements are painful, difficult. Each step costs her, but she continues, following the path that winds through the flower beds, drawn, like Merlin before her, toward the center, toward the heart. Another seeker, another soul, finding the way home. The woman walks slowly, so slowly. She stops often to rest, leaning on her stick, breathing heavily. But the garden waits, patient, eternal. There is no hurry here. She passes the fountain. The glowing water catches her reflection, old, tired, beautiful. She smiles at herself, at the journey, at the arrival. She continues, past the crystal tree, past the beds of glowing flowers, following the paths that all lead, eventually, to the center. At last, she reaches the circle of 7 oaks. She stops at its edge, looking in. She sees Merlin sitting on the golden stone. She sees the sleeping creatures around him. She sees the web of dew hanging above his head. She sees the flowers spiraling inward, glowing soft as breath. Her hand goes to her heart. More tears come. "We're not alone," she whispers. "We're never alone." She enters the circle, step by slow step, following the spiral path inward, just as the creatures did before her. Round and round and round. Her breathing is labored. Her body aches. But with each turn of the spiral, something eases. Some burden lifts. Some pain softens. The spiral heals. The path itself brings peace. She reaches the center. There, beside the golden stone where Merlin sits, she sees a space on the grass, soft, inviting, glowing gently. The old woman lowers herself down, carefully, slowly. She sets her walking stick aside and settles onto the grass. It's softer than any bed she's ever known, warmer than any hearth. She sits for a moment, looking at Merlin, his peaceful face, his gentle breathing, the way the light seems to cradle him. Then she lies back, fully. Her head rests on the grass. Her arms settle at her sides. Her legs stretch out, relieving the ache in her knees, her hips, her feet, lying down, fully supported, held by the earth. The woman closes her eyes. A sigh escapes her, long, deep, filled with release. It's the sound of finally letting go, of finally arriving, of finally resting. The deer opens one eye, sees her, acknowledges her presence, then closes its eye again, returning to sleep. The garden accepts her. The flowers glow for her. The oaks shelter her. The stone radiates warmth to her, just as it does to Merlin. She is home. Another dreamer, safely gathered, resting in the light. Her breathing begins to slow, to deepen, matching the rhythm of Merlin's breath, of the deer's breath, of the garden's breath, in and out. The golden stone pulses, gently, including her now in its embrace, accepting her weariness, offering her renewal. Above, the spider's web trembles slightly. More dew forms. The pattern grows even more intricate, even more beautiful. The dreaming star pulses overhead. The other stars respond. The entire sky breathes with light, all connected, all held, all part of the same piece. Time continues its slow drift. Hours pass like minutes. Minutes stretch like hours. In the garden, it makes no difference. More creatures arrive. A moth, drawn by the gentle light, settles on one of the oak branches. A frog hops slowly from a distant pond, following some instinct it cannot name, and finds a spot near the rabbit. Each arrival is welcomed, each presence accepted. The circle grows fuller, and yet there is always room, always space. The garden expands to hold whoever seeks it. Infinite welcome, infinite capacity, infinite love. Merlin sleeps on, dreaming perhaps, or beyond dreams, in that deep place where consciousness touches the eternal, where the self dissolves into the all, where there is no separation between wizard and garden, between sleeper and stars. The old woman beside him has already drifted into sleep. Her breathing is even, peaceful. Her face, which held so much pain when she arrived, is now smooth, serene. In sleep, the years fall away. She looks younger, not in body, perhaps, but in spirit. The girl she once was shines through. The joy she once knew returns. In sleep, we remember who we truly are. The 7 oaks sway very slightly. Their branches move in patterns that create shifting shadows and light. The patterns seem almost intentional, almost conscious, as if the trees are painting dreams directly onto the air. The flowers pulse, in and out, waves of soft luminescence flowing from the spiral's edge to its center and back again, like breathing, like tide, like the eternal rhythm that underlies all things. Merlin's lips move, the barest whisper, words forming in the depths of sleep. We are all together. It's not clear if he's speaking from a dream or speaking to the dream, but the garden hears, the trees hear, the sleeping woman hears, somewhere in her own dreams. Yes, together, always together, never alone. A breeze moves through the circle, so gentle, barely there. It carries the scent of night flowers, of dew-wet earth, of something indefinable, perhaps the scent of peace itself, if peace had a fragrance. The breeze touches each sleeper. Merlin, the woman, the deer, the fox, the rabbit, each creature, each plant, each stone. It carries away the last traces of tension, the final wisps of worry, the ultimate threads of holding on. Everything releases into complete surrender. Let go, completely. Nothing left to hold. The golden stone glows a little brighter. Just for a moment, a pulse of affirmation, of recognition, of love. Then it softens again to its gentle, steady light, constant, reliable, eternal. Above, the stars wheel slowly. The moon drifts toward the western horizon. Dawn is still hours away, but already the deepest part of night has passed. This is the hour of deepest sleep, the hour when the body heals most profoundly, when the mind releases most completely, when the soul touches closest to its source. The healing hour, the sacred hour, the hour of return. In the garden of eternal dreams, all is stillness, all is peace, all is perfect, profound, eternal rest. The seven oaks stand watch. The flowers glow softly. The creatures sleep deeply. The spider's web catches starlight and transforms it into beauty. And at the center of it all, on the golden stone that has held countless seekers through countless ages, Merlin rests. The old woman rests beside him. All who have sought this place rest together, held by the earth beneath, sheltered by the trees above, watched by the stars beyond, safe, deeply safe, eternally safe, resting, deeply resting, eternally resting, home, finally home, forever home. In the time before dawn, when night is at its darkest and stillest, something shifts in the garden of eternal dreams. It's not a sound, not a movement, just a change, like the moment between one breath and the next, like the space between heartbeats. The garden knows, Dawn is coming, but dawn comes slowly here, gently. There is no rush, no sudden light, just the gradual, patient turning of darkness toward day. Merlin sleeps on the golden stone. His breathing remains slow, deep, peaceful. The old woman lies beside him on the soft grass, equally still, equally at rest. The creatures continue their sleep. The deer, the fox, the rabbit, the owl, all the small lives that found their way here, drawn by the promise of peace, all resting, all held, all safe in the garden's embrace. The dreaming star still pulses overhead, though its light has grown softer, more distant, as if it knows its work for this night is nearly done. The 7 oaks stand silent. Their golden glow has faded almost completely, leaving just the barest hint of light in their trunks, like embers in a fire that has burned through the night, still warm, still glowing, but gentle now, ready to rest. The flowers in the spiral have dimmed too. Their colors are softer pale blues, quiet purples, whisper-soft pinks. They still pulse, but slower now, calmer, like a lullaby reaching its final verse. Everything softening, everything settling, everything at peace. The spider's web above Merlin trembles with dew. Each droplet is heavier now, fuller. They hang like tiny worlds, each one reflecting the garden, the stars, the sleeping figures below. One droplet grows too heavy. It releases, falls. It lands on Merlin's hand, soft, cool, gentle as a blessing. Somewhere deep in his sleep, the wizard feels it, the tiny touch of water, of life, of the garden saying, "You are here. You are real. You are loved." His finger twitches slightly, just once, then is still again. Even in deepest rest, the world touches us, reminds us we belong. At the eastern edge of the garden, beyond the gate, beyond the willows, beyond the cliff where Merlin began his descent, the sky begins to change. Not dramatically, not obviously, just the darkness becomes less dark. The black becomes deep blue. The night begins its slow surrender to day. The change is so gradual that no single moment marks its beginning. It simply happens, the way dawn always happens. Patient, inevitable, gentle. The first bird begins to sing. Somewhere in the garden, hidden in the branches of one of the flowering trees, a small throat opens. A song emerges. Soft, pure, simple. It's the song of greeting. The song that says, "I lived through the night. I am here. I am grateful." Listen, the first song, welcoming the new day. Another bird joins, then another, not loudly, not urgently, just singing, because that's what birds do when darkness begins to lift. They sing. The creatures in the circle stir slightly. Ears twitch. Eyes flutter beneath closed lids. But they don't wake. Not yet. The sleep is too deep, too peaceful, too necessary. The garden lets them rest. There's no need to wake, no need to hurry. Dawn can arrive around them. Day can begin without disturbing their peace. Rest continues. Even as the world awakens, peace remains. The sky grows lighter. Deep blue becomes softer blue. The stars begin to fade, one by one. Not disappearing, just stepping back. Returning to the place where stars wait during daylight, ready to return when night comes again. The dreaming star pulses one final time. Strong. Clear, a pulse that says, I see you. I held you through the night. Rest well. Then it too fades, joining its companions in the daytime realm. The 7 oaks begin to glow again, but differently now. Not with golden light from within, but with the natural light of approaching dawn. Their leaves catch the first hints of morning soft grays, gentle silvers, the promise of green. The flowers in the spiral shift their colors. The night blues give way to dawn pinks. The purples soften to lavenders. The whites become touched with gold. The garden transforms, always the same, always new. More dew forms. The grass becomes covered in tiny diamonds of water. Each blade holds a droplet. Each droplet holds the world. The golden stone beneath Merlin begins to cool. Just slightly. Not cold, never cold, but releasing the warmth it held through the night, knowing that the sun will soon bring warmth of its own. Merlin's breathing changes, still slow, still deep, but different. The quality shifts. He's beginning to rise from the deepest sleep, not waking yet, just ascending through layers of rest, moving gradually back toward consciousness, slowly returning, no rush, rising gently like a bubble through water. The old woman beside him sighs, a soft sound, content. Her hands move slightly, fingers curling and uncurling. She too is beginning the slow journey back. But there's no urgency, no alarm. The garden allows each sleeper to wake in their own time, in their own way. The deer lifts its head, opens its eyes, blinks slowly. It sees the changing light, the approaching day. It rises gracefully to its feet, shakes itself gently, and looks down at Merlin with those deep, knowing eyes. For a moment, deer and wizard exist in the same space. One awake, one sleeping. One witness to the other's peace. Then the deer turns. It walks the spiral path outward, stepping carefully between the flowers. It reaches the edge of the circle and continues on, disappearing into the garden's morning mist. Some must leave, some will stay. All are blessed. The fox wakes next, stretches, yawns, shows its small sharp teeth and pink tongue. It looks around at the sleeping forms, the glowing flowers, the lightning sky. Then it too departs, slipping away into the shadows that still remain between the trees. One by one, the creatures wake and leave. The rabbit, the mice, the crane, each one moving softly, reverently as if leaving a temple. The owl opens its eyes last. It ruffles its feathers, making barely a sound. It looks at Merlin for a long moment. Then it spreads its wings and lifts off, flying up through the canopy of the 7 oaks, disappearing into the dawn sky. Gratitude needs no words. Presence is enough. Now only Merlin and the old woman remain at the center of the spiral. The golden stone, the glowing flowers, the 7 oaks, the spider's web catching the growing light. The sky continues to brighten. Blue becomes lighter blue. Touches of pink appear. Hints of gold. Merlin's eyelids flutter. Once, twice. Slowly, slowly they open. He sees the web above him first. The dew-covered silk. The intricate pattern. The light filtering through. He blinks. Takes a deep breath. The deepest breath he's taken all night. Breathing in the new day. Feeling life flowing through. Slowly, very slowly, he lifts his head. His neck is stiff but not painful. Just rested, deeply rested. He looks around, sees the flowers, the oaks, the lightening sky, the woman sleeping peacefully beside him. A smile spreads across his face, warm, genuine, the smile of someone who has slept deeply and woken grateful. "Good morning, garden," he whispers. "Thank you for holding us through the night." The flowers pulse brighter for just a moment. The oak's leaves rustle gently. The garden acknowledges his words. Welcome back, well rested, ready to continue. Merlin doesn't move yet. He sits, just sits, watching the light grow, listening to the birds sing, feeling the cool morning air on his face. There's no hurry, no place he needs to be, just this moment, just this breath, just this gratitude. The old woman beside him begins to stir. Her eyes open slowly. She sees the sky, the flowers. Merlin sitting peacefully on the stone. "Did I?" she begins, her voice hoarse from sleep. "Did I dream this?" Merlin turns to her. His eyes are kind, ancient, gentle. "We all dream this," he says softly, "and we all wake to find it real." She sits up slowly. Her body feels different, lighter. The pain that brought her here is still present, but somehow softer, more bearable, as if the night's rest has given her strength to carry it. The garden doesn't remove our burdens, but helps us carry them with grace. They sit together in silence, wizard and woman, strangers who shared the same rest, travelers who found the same home. The sun begins to rise. First light appears on the eastern horizon, a sliver of gold, a promise of warmth. The garden responds. Every flower turns toward the light. Every leaf lifts. Even the grass seems to straighten, reaching upward. The golden stone beneath Merlin begins to warm again. Not from within this time, but from the sun's first rays touching its surface. "We should go," the woman says quietly. "Shouldn't we?" Merlin considers, then nods. "We should, but there's no hurry. The garden will be here, always, whenever we need to return." He rises slowly. His joints creak, his body protests mildly. But he stands, stable, grounded, rested. He offers his hand to the woman. She takes it. Together, they stand at the center of the spiral, watching the sun rise. Two souls, rested and renewed, ready to return to the world. Merlin picks up his staff. The wood feels familiar in his hand, reliable, true. He looks at the golden stone one last time. "Until we meet again," he whispers. The woman retrieves her walking stick. She touches the grass where she lay. "Thank you," she breathes. Together, they begin to walk the spiral outward, round and round, retracing the path that brought them in, but walking it now with new strength, new peace, new understanding. The flowers glow as they pass. The 7 oaks bow their branches slightly. The spider watches from its web. The garden releases what it holds, knowing all will return. They reach the edge of the circle, step out onto the main path, walk past the crystal tree, past the fountain, past the beds of flowers that glow in the morning light. At the gate, they pause, turn back, look at the garden one more time. The sun is fully above the horizon now. Its light fills the garden with gold. Everything sparkles. Everything shines. Everything sings with the joy of morning. "It's more beautiful in daylight," the woman says. "It's beautiful always," Merlin replies. "We just see it differently depending on when we arrive. Night or day, the garden is always here, always home." They step through the gate. The willow's branches part for them. The path up the cliff appears before them, clear and inviting. Merlin begins to climb, step by step, his staff tapping softly. The woman follows, her own stick supporting her. Up they go, slowly, steadily, no rush. Behind them, the garden settles into day. The flowers continue to bloom. The fountain continues to flow. The golden stone waits at the center of the spiral, ready for the next traveler, for the next seeking soul, for the next weary heart. The garden is eternal, always welcoming, always home. Merlin reaches the top of the cliff. He turns, looks down at the valley one more time. The garden glows below, a jewel of peace in a vast world. The woman joins him at the cliff's edge. They stand together, looking down. "Will you come back?" she asks. Merlin smiles. "I will. Someday, when I need to remember." Remember what? That peace isn't something we find once and keep forever. It's something we return to again and again. A garden we visit, a home we remember, a rest we allow ourselves. The woman nods, understanding. Peace is always here, waiting. Whenever we need it, they turn away from the cliff. Ahead of them stretches the road, the hills, the valleys, the world with all its noise and beauty, its challenges and joys. But they walk it differently now, lighter, calmer, carrying the garden's peace in their hearts. Merlin begins to hum that ancient melody, the lullaby he sang on the way down. But now it sounds different. Not a song of sleep, but a song of waking, of gratitude, of returning. The woman hums with him. Their voices blend, old and older, weathered by time, beautiful because of it. They walk together for a while, then their paths diverge. She goes one way, he goes another, but both carry the same gift, the gift of rest, the gift of peace, the gift of knowing that no matter how far they wander, there is always a garden waiting, always a place to return, always a home. And so the journey continues, rested souls walking, carrying peace like a lamp. Merlin walks on. The sun rises higher. The day grows warm. Birds sing. Flowers bloom along the roadside. Life continues in all its beautiful complexity. But somewhere in his heart, Merlin carries the memory. The golden stone, the glowing flowers, the 7 oaks, the spider's web catching starlight. And he knows, with a certainty deeper than thought, that when the time comes again, when weariness finds him once more, the garden will be there, waiting, welcoming, home, the garden of eternal dreams, always present, always peace, always home. May you find your own garden, your own golden stone, your own place of rest. May you return to it as often as you need. May peace be yours, now and always, in sleep and in waking. Rest well, dear traveler. Rest deeply. Rest in peace. All is well. All is light. All is home.